I'm James from Open the Box Games.
And I'm Ian from Open Box Games Jr. and the Dice Tower.
And tonight we answer the question, what do you get that person that likes memory games and games like Magic the Gathering with special abilities and strategic timing of spells? Maybe, just maybe, it's Find It and Bind It from Cray Cray Games, now on Kickstarter. Let's take a look. The setup and layout of the game is going to be very simple and familiar to anybody who's played a memory style game before. You've got your traditional grid of cards, and then additionally each player is going to have a hand of spells at their disposal and several tokens representing the sisters, the witches in their coven. And the goal of the game is that there's one hidden book of shadows in this field of false books, and your witches and your coven has to be the first to figure out which one is the real book of shadows and get all of your witches to it so you can bind it and capture it for your own coven. After laying out the field of cards and the column and row indicators, players take turns starting with the second oldest player, this guy, placing their witches onto the field. And then you'll follow the turn sequence. On the player's turn, they have the option of performing one of several different combinations of actions, and you have to choose carefully what you want to do because you can only do one combination. The first option is that you can do two move actions, either vertical or horizontal movement on the grid. And you can do that twice. And then you have your spell preparation phase, which lets you discard an unwanted spell from your hand and redraw up to a hand of 3 spells, preparing you for the next round. The second combination is that you can do a move action and then another action, which could be either to discard one of your spells, to let you scry or take a secret peek at one of the books that you have a witch on, or to cast a spell from your hand to thwart the other witches. And you have the option of doing things like moving the books around, manipulating the field, peeking at rows and columns, or to banish the witches back to their opponent. And they'll have to spend an action to try to bring them back later on. The third option is that you can do your action and then your movement, and then your spell preparation. You always redraw up to your hand of 3 there. And lastly, if you have a banished witch from the board, you can use your whole turn to bring one back to a card in the field.
So that's basically how you play the game.
The point of the game is to locate the Book of Shadows, and you want to do so in a way that doesn't reveal its location to your opponents, allowing them to get there first. You have to get both of your witches there, and then you can attempt to bind it by casting a rhyming incantation. And yes, you have to rhyme. So what did you think about the game, buddy?
I thought the theme was cool. The witch is trying to find the Book of Shadows, like, where is it? And I also like how it's played. And I also like playing spells in different orders, like action, then...
Oh, you like choosing which combination to use? Yeah. He's very good at memory games. I find it can be very friendly with children. It all depends on how deep you take the theme. If you play up the whole scary witches thing, some of the artwork is a little bit darker, but it's taken from public domain famous artworks, so it's not really that bad. It's not as gruesome as a lot of the more modern card games. Ultimately, it's a memory game, but you do have the special abilities on the cards, which can be very interesting. It is random in the distribution. You don't build your deck or anything, but figuring out the best combination with what you have at your disposal can be very interesting at times, sometimes rewarding, sometimes frustrating. But it's a good, challenging, light game that you can pull out quickly with a game group between larger games. All in all, I think it's a good light game. Do you agree?
Yeah!
Check it out at their Kickstarter page or at Cray Cray Games. Thank you.